This is a rose apple. If you're like me, you probably never even heard of this tropical fruit, but today we're going to learn all about this wacky guy, and of course, make a daiquiri about it.
Welcome to Wacky Daiquiri, the show where we explore unique ingredients through the lens of the humble but mighty king of cocktails, the daiquiri.
We're here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, the Rose of the North, where you can find beautiful and interesting tropical fruit on almost every street corner. And it was at one such street corner that I spotted a strange-looking fruit that I had never seen before. Syzygium samarangense is a species of flowering plant in the family Myrtaceae, the same family as superstar ingredients such as clove, guava, allspice, and eucalyptus. Rose apples, also known as Wax Jambu, originated in the Malay Peninsula and many of the surrounding islands of Southeast Asia. It was then introduced to other areas of the world way back in prehistoric times, and is now widely cultivated all over the tropics. So, the fruit itself is bright red and pear-shaped. The inside is a greenish yellow beige and has a spongy looking texture. It also seems to be seedless. Okay, let's give it a smell. Smell the butt part. It smells like nothing. It's really waxy and shiny. Not a lot of smells getting through that. I guess let's give it a bite. It's juicy. I can see why they call it an apple. It reminds me of an apple or a pear. Not as gritty as a pear. Very reminiscent of an apple. Not tart like a Granny Smith. Not as dense as an apple, so a lot more air. I don't know if you can hear. It's a pretty hollow fruit. I imagine you could eat like 10 of these and feel nothing. I think chilled, which is how I like my apples, this would be super nice on like a hot day. It's really mild, light, floral quality. I'm guessing this middle part's fine to eat. I don't see any seeds. It's kind of spongy. It's really nice, pleasant. I don't know. What's the apple that's like mild? It's not red delicious. I feel like there's like this apple that I've gotten a few times where you bite it and you're just like really kind of disappointed. This has like a more interesting texture. Like apple's more crunchy and dense. This is more like light and airy. I see you. And look at that.
Cool. Alright, very spongy. It looks like bread. It smells very green. It smells like crab apples. Or I think they're crab apples. Okay, I understand why it's called rose apple, because it has some apple qualities. The texture is like kind of like an apple, but like bigger. Like the texture is bigger, but it has like vegetal qualities. I'm getting celery. Okay, a little bit of like tannin, or on the skin, which you get with like apples sometimes. I'm gonna try some without like skin on it at all. Oh. The flavor is subtle. It tastes like a bland apple. I'm not very excited by this, but it's underripe watermelon. Oh, rind. Maybe that's what it...
Watermelon's kind of an interesting parallel, I feel.
It's not bad. It looks more exotic than it tastes, I would say. I mean, this looks kind of weird. Oh. Okay, this one's a little more ripe. No. What? It's worse, right?
Tastes like apple seed.
Apple seed. Johnny. You can see like the difference of these. And I thought I didn't like this one, but it turns out I really didn't like this one. And this one, when you eat it after you eat this one, is much better. Look how weird that is. This is an alien food. Final thoughts. How did I get here? Alright, before we make a daiquiri, we need to make our syrup. Anytime I'm making a syrup from a delicately flavored fruit, such as the rose apple, I like to macerate the fruit. To do that, I chop up the rose apple into little chunks and measure, by weight, 2 parts rose apple to 1 part sugar. I usually go 1-to-1, but because the rose apple is so light, I decided to double up. Let that mixture sit for 24 hours. The sugar will pull the liquid from the fruit, and you're left with a concentrated, flavor-packed syrup. No water or cooking necessary. The next day, strain your syrup. You can reserve the strained fruit and cook it down into a little jam or fruit butter. So good. Go ahead and bottle that tasty little syrup, and let's make a daiquiri. I actually didn't even try this. I don't know if it's the color, but it like faintly tastes like rose. A little bit, like floral. Fresh juice. With seeds. Very important. This is a white spirits. Oh, okay. It's gonna be a boozy one. Nice. Oh. Still don't have a hawthorn strainer. Oh. Pretty color. This is nice. Ooh.
Maybe the world's first ever rose apple daiquiri. Would you like to do the honors?
The world's first rose apple daiquiri.
Okay, now hold that thought.
Okay, when I made it, I maybe put a little bit too much booze.
It's gonna be a boozy one.
Which probably would have been fine.
Okay, first and foremost, this is delicious.
Yeah, it just tastes like a very strong daiquiri.
No, I disagree. I think there's a little bit of tannin from the skin contact, and there's definitely like a rosy floralness that I didn't get when we just ate it raw.
I get what you're saying with the skins.
Really good. After tasting the fruit, I was kind of worried that this daiquiri was going to be like pretty boring. Like it was just going to taste like a normal daiquiri because the fruit's not super, I don't know, powerful flavor-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually really nice, and it's like it's a very subtle twist on your average DAC. I think it's really tasty.
Yeah, a subtle twist on the average DAC. I would agree with that.
Here's a question. How would you use this rosy rose apple syrup in another cocktail, perhaps?
Okay, maybe like a nice, like a vermouth kind of cocktail of some sort. It's hard. It would be hard to find a flavor pairing that wouldn't kind of overpower that. So you'd have to really find something else that's like subtle where they can like work together and.
With the right kind of gin would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I think like sparkling wine with this. Would you be interested in having a frozen daiquiri with this?
Do I have to make it? 12 minutes. To cut myself here. Oh. Because we gotta go take a picture. How high can I go? Oh.
Okay, chill. Look at this thing. Rosé. That's what it looks like.
We'll
It's
get in
gorgeous.
there. Want a straw or do you want to just... Yeah, I knew you were going to do
That's only for Patreons. We don't have a Patreon.
No.
Should we get a Patreon? Apple saucy.
that. It is applesauce, yeah.
This is saucy. In general, it's a saucy drink.
It's really good.
Move over, Cosmo. Froze apple.
Froze apple. Actually,
This is like very much like a frosé,
yeah.
actually.
Because, like, I think, like you said, this is a little tannic, like the skins on these, and that kind of attributes some
Roséness.
roséness, yeah, some light.
Okay, this is the way to drink
This is
it.
the way to do it.
This
yeah,
one
for sure.
was fine. It was decent.
In my opinion, it was just fine.
This is so good. Froze apple all day. All in all, this is an excellent way to drink this.
Mm-hmm.
I like rose apples. I think that they have a place in my heart now.
Can I pour this into here?
Yeah, like and subscribe. We'll probably be trying more wacky fruit, turning them into daiquiris. Peace. Oh.